An outreach group in Bloomington is urging people to stop donating perishable food to homeless encampments, as that population has doubled in the last year. Liz Lape joining us in the studio with more from them tonight. Liz.
While outreach leaders say people in the encampments appreciate the food donations, some of that food is creating more problems than solving them. Leaders with God's Mission Ministries says people are bringing perishable food to those encampments almost every day. However, that food is going bad quickly, which they say is attracting pests and overwhelming the area with garbage. Leaders also say sometimes campers' only option is to eat the spoiled food if there is nothing else, putting their health at risk. They're recommending people learn what is really needed before dropping off just anything.
Some of the camps do like people coming in and bringing donations. They do like the company. The company really helps with the emotional state of mind. However, there's other camps that do not. So I say that if you're going to donate directly to the camps, to find a client in the camp and ask them specifically what their needs and wants are, so that way we're not overstepping boundaries.
Outreach coordinator Kimberly Massey says frozen or canned foods are safe to donate, while foods that require cooking or storage at a certain temperature are not. She says people can also donate items through God's Mission Ministry. Leaders also say the Bloomington homeless population has doubled since last winter. They say more shelter and affordable housing is needed, and Massey wishes the city would step in and create more options for shelter this winter.